Crystal Pools, Catherine Square, and Old Country are the maps currently available in the map pool. However, it looks like once again the overlays have been gunked up, so to speak, guys. So sincerest apologies for this. We'll go back with the ghetto score overlay for now. So before we do these intros, real quick, Team APS is up 1-0 to Team Super Symbol. There we go. Hopefully that's legible for you guys on the overlay. But to start off the introductions for this game, spawning here on the top right, it's going to be Team Super Symbol featuring the red Terran player from Root Gaming, SuperNova, and his teammates, Jenner Symbol.
The bottom position is Team Axiom Pro Streamers. It's the Purple Heart.
Well played.
Yeah, and the Blue Protoss Crank.
And I guess for those who might not know what a Purple Heart is, it's a medal for getting, I think it's what, injured in combat, right? For
yeah,
the army, the real life army, not the Terran army.
Well, you don't know that.
Well, yeah, you're right. You might give medals in the Terran army too.
Yeah.
But okay, so this is a map where you don't need a lot of teamwork to wall off that ramp. On the last map, it was pretty big, it's pretty wide, it's pretty annoying, and it's really far away. So it's risky to do that because let's say that Symbol had opened with like a 10 pool, right? Like if you build that first depot out there, you might be killing yourself right then and there. So this map you can play a little bit more safe on. Again, there's those in-base expansions safely nestled away from the outside world. And of course, there's lots more elsewhere. But we'll see how far this one gets. That last game, though, I think it was a pretty... It's like what we saw Team Solar's Awesome versus Team Dead Pixels. That first game looked really one-sided. Didn't mean that it was really one-sided, though. And we got to see a lot of back and forth follow suit. So we might just see SuperNova and Symbol turn this around, but I think there really does feel like a bit of a difference between the two. Like, I kind of would imagine Crank and Heart, they're communicating with each other, they sit next to each other, whereas I don't even know if, like, Super and Symbol are calling each other on Skype type thing. Like, it felt very much like it was two players against a team of two players.
I don't have quite the similar feelings. I think it's obvious that Heart and Crank would be the guys that are talking to each other. So definitely give you that one, like they're in the same team house, right? But SuperNova and Symbol, I mean, they coordinated that like Roach medevac drop that was really good. I think it was just like the early game, mid game was like, okay, like we'll drop and we'll like harass, get burrowed roaches, that's awesome. And then they were like, but what's the final good composition for a 2v2?
Right. Well, see, that's where I kind of come into it. Like, it really didn't feel like Bio, Roach, Hydra complements each other because they all have very similar range limitations. So you're going to be sitting there with like a lot of units kind of squirming to get to the front lines, you know, when you see that stupid thing where they're running back and forth.
What else do you do as Zerg? I just feel like Terran and Protoss are just much more powerful at that point.
Well, I feel like for SuperNova, it shouldn't have been Bio to begin with. Like, if his opponent was going to go Roach Hydra, I think tanks or anything else really complements them a lot more.
That's true. I was thinking like what the Zerg could do, right? Like, Zerg just seems like it doesn't have an endgame scenario. Like, Swarm Host usually the endgame scenario versus Protoss, but definitely not against Terran. And, you know, endgame scenario versus Terran is usually just like layer units that are heavily upgraded, so...
Mutas may not have been a bad alternative either. You know, that Stargate got shut down really early.
Mutas just have, like... They're so great. Like, Rifkin, please, you play 2v2s, and I was like the only one surviving. And mutas are great. Like, you get a bunch of them, they're fantastic. They'll take down production, and then they just force an attack. And Heart did have a really good composition. Same with Crank. So, you know, they wouldn't have survived that attack again. Really brought on to that attack. So, I guess it's like gonna be like total bias on like Terran Protoss composition.
But it is, again, it is a situation where these two did not practice for this. Nobody comes like, all right, let's train for 7 hours getting ready for the 2v2 base rate TV tournament, right? So it's kind of understandable too that a lot of these weren't really fleshed out. They're probably just coming here and winging it a bit. I mean, I know there's actually a lot of Koreans who play team games for fun, just for the hell of it from time to time. So it's not like they've never done this before. Great opening out of Crank, by the way. 7 workers killed in a bit of an early game aggression move. It does have that Stargate still pumping out another Oracle to follow suit.
We got SuperNova going for the Banshees this time. We will see if he's going to go into mech.
I don't like this after realizing there's going to be a Stargate, though. A Phoenix deals bonus damage to light units, which, of course, the Banshee is, and this will get cleaned up really easily, I feel.
Technically, yes. There is a small chance the Cloak will help you last a very long time, but Crank's actually immediately following up with a Robo, so it won't last long, you're right, if you just get one Phoenix.
By the way, big shout out to, and I'm sorry if I'm saying this wrong, it's either Robothari or Robot Harry. Thank you very much for resubbing 7 months running! I love seeing like how long people and stuff for, because you realize like, you know, oh, this guy's been in chat for a while, but then it dawns on you, you're like, wow, 7 months, jeez.
I feel like it's more surreal when people are like 10+ months and you're like, we've had a sub button for 10+ months?
Yeah,
we've been casting for over a year? Oh my god.
Yeah, Partoof tweeted, I think we're at 16 or 14 or something, I don't remember, but Partoof was the first sub to the channel, and he's been subbed ever since. And he had a big anniversary when he did it. But anyways, the Banshee for SuperNova is going to come in not fully unscathed, a little bit bettered up.
There's no scan, but he doesn't know where the observer is, or the oracle. Be more careful. Or if there's a second command center. There's a lot of ways to attack this Banshee, and yes, it will die.
It's cool to see the oracle used for that. You don't see that dynamic too often, but Changeling gets taken out right away. Symbol's not getting a whole hell of a lot of scouting information through this. Yeah, we've cleaned up by this. What is Heart going for this game, though? Heart's got a couple of Raxes on the way with double reactors, so definitely looking to stick towards that bio with Stim on the way. SuperNova, however, okay, his extra Rax is just coming down now. I thought maybe he'd go mech, but I take all that back.
He's not gonna go back, Rifkin. Stop trying to make it happen.
I want it to happen.
Yeah, again, I think like the mech is the ultimate composition. You know, if it gets up to a really big, powerful army, it is the best army you can get. You know, heavily upgraded as well. It's the best one, but yeah, and it's actually a pretty good map for it because you can get 3 bases somewhat easily as the mech player. But
Banshees are causing havoc on the side of the map. Not lots of damage, but causing probes and SCVs to be pulled. Crank is set up for double oracles to run into SuperNova's mineral line that has no Widow Mine coverage, no Marines here waiting, and no missile turret. If he goes in, he is going to wreck that mineral line.
Yeah, what is SuperNova doing? He knows that there's 2 oracles.
So, okay, let the carnage begin. Quick thing though, we see chat talk a lot about Mutalisk Medevac. This was something I thought was going to be fantastic. Oh, there was a Widow Mine.
That's exactly what we tried.
There was a Widow Mine hidden. Nice, nice. Yeah, Zombie Up and I, this is the first thing we tried together, and it went miserably.
Yeah,
do not get tricked into thinking that's an amazing strategy.
I had to attack. Actually, I think what would have really helped out is if you didn't just go completely in a medevac, but either had
had any other unit
10
beneath
tanks,
it?
like 10 tanks, and I think we would have won that fight because I had over like 50 mutas.
So not mono battling is what you're telling me.
We weren't even mono battling.
Well,
I was winning with the mutas, and you were like, you know what would be a great idea? Medevacs. Like halfway into the 30-minute long game.
Guys, we lost that game. She's a little bit mad about it.
I'm a little salty. I was like, man, maybe I could do this if I split this up in like magic box, and no, it doesn't work.
Well, the Oracle stuff that caused a little bit of panic from Team Super Symbol, but nothing too crazy. We do have this. This is kind of crazy though. This really exposed, hey, don't look at me expansion. I like this move though. We saw Patience earlier take a map, a base that was kind of obvious and in the open, but even that didn't get revealed till the game was already over. So Symbol very well may get away with this for quite some time. More money, more problems though, so really far away, really exposed, could be a bit of an issue. We got Banelings galore coming down. This will help deal with the bio quite nicely, but again, it's Crank. Crank is the X factor in this game. Like, is the Protoss gonna be a little too much to deal with? Because with Colossus out, once again, there's no Viking production, there's no Corruptors coming out, there's no Mutalisks. How are they planning to deal with this?
Sometimes tank fire on Colossus.
It's good, it's got more range. I mean, tank fire is the best. If you can let it happen, though.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta get in good position. SuperNova does have more tanks, and his Marine Force will win out against, pure Marines going out against Marauders as well.
Setting up for a flank, possibly gonna come from behind. Hart has no idea about this. The tanks do drive back the Colossus. Ooh, that gets really low, actually.
Yeah. I like that SuperNova adapted. I think he saw how, his composition, his only bio composition did not work. So, while he did give up Marauders completely, and yes, he will win against Heart's army, that might be a little too bold.
I love this, though.
Colossus.
The sandwich move coming in for the Marines. He's got to run. He can't fight. The Colossus goes down. The tank's going to go down. Nice splits out of Heart, though, and off of Kratos. There's no way for these Banelings to connect. Jeez. But it kind of did the job. It broke the siege. Like, there's no siege tanks up. He's able to chase this army completely back across the map. Like, it was a big waste, but it got the job done.
It really wasn't. I kind of blame Hart and Crank for just staying there. I mean, once the tanks were obviously going to deal with the Colossus, it's just like, go home. Yeah. You're not going to break them quite yet, and that's fine. Like, you're both expanding. You're actually both on the exact same bases. So, it was messy though, so it's not like they got totally squashed.
Well, we got scans going down from SuperNova, still trying to just nail where this army is. They don't want to walk into Colossus and tank fire with a lot of Marines and Zerglings, obviously, but at the same time, sticking on tier 1 units will only go so far. I mean, the Marines are buffer for the tanks, sure, but what can Solar really, or not Solar, pardon me, Symbol really do? Now, this base does get revealed. Thought I was going to get away with this for a long time.
It looks teal, like the upper right, but it's an overload over a spire in SuperNova's base. I mean,
that's cool.
I guess it's gonna keep it hidden, but like how it's not that hard to figure out what you're gonna do when you're all nothing but lings.
Yeah, some elements of 1v1 still really true to this, but nice positioning out of SuperNova. There we go. Talk about the man using the ledge for tanks. Not quite in the way we thought it would have been on, say, the other map, but he'll gonna get flanked. He'll kill the Nexus, maybe trying to focus it down. He will get the Nexus. Nicely done. Picks up with a couple of the Medivacs. Oh, might get another pylon or two, but
as long as Crank is not going to go for Blink Stalkers, which I guess he isn't because he hopes the Marines will cover, any anti-air. Nice drop from Hart. SuperNova can continue abusing Crank.
Oh, big lane counterattack. Now this is a full surround on a planetary. The SCVs are gone. That's two pretty major bases from Hart and Crank going down. I mean, the main base going down was kind of, I'd say, whatever. Actually, he might just hold this barely. SuperNova was not helping with his Marines. Oh my god, he will hold on to that planetary.
But they're still, they're doing a lot of harassment. Hart did get that base of Symbol. SuperNova not really rolling in the dough, so he can't go ahead and just give him a bunch of money. He is going to get a third base very, very soon. But that is a base for a base. Exactly.
A bit of a exchange, if you would say?
Yes.
Another word
bit
for
of a
that?
trade.
Oh! Ace 1, Ace 2.
Yeah. The upgrades are looking surprisingly good.
Actually,
for
it's still
2v2.
It's shockingly even, so I'd say. I mean, if one player had no upgrades, then they're kind of start falling out of the game. But you're right, the upgrades are going to keep them floating. The army values are pretty even across the board. The harass out of SuperNova has been fantastic, but it's this death ball out of Crank that's going to really be, does this win the game or not?
It is a death ball too. Their army supply combined. I mean, their army supply just beats out the other army supply, and it's like straight up. So it's gonna be difficult for Team Super Symbol to hold.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see if the mutas will work. I mean, if these Colossus are segmented away, Crank's mostly got Zealots and like one Archon underneath this, right? He doesn't exactly have the best coverage against mutas unless the Marines are right there. Yeah,
that's what Crank is hoping for. I mean, that's why the composition works out, but he also has an Archon.
Oh, Heart's gonna go for the Doom drop, though. This exposes the Colossus! Crank's gonna be... Dummy, please!
Kill the Colossus! It's kind of free.
Yeah, running towards the Marines to try and keep them alive. A couple of Viking shots will try to level this up. SuperNova loses a lot of his bio, though, trying to just run into those tanks. The mutas have really got to get involved with this. We do have the Lynx and the Banelings coming to the low ground. We got the mutas looking to be the Kingmakers here on the high ground. There's still a couple of Marines left.
All the Zealots! No, the Banelings can't connect. Colossus get into that.
Crank is probably like, that's payback for ignoring my Colossus. Like, that's why the Zealots were like AFK on the right side.
Yeah. Man,
really good defense, though.
Symbol had gone more into mutas, he'd have enough to clean up the rest of that army. There was a drop in Heart's base. Didn't see this. Medivacs do die. I don't know. I guess the Marines are target firing them.
Yeah. I mean, well, Heart's in a position where I think mules would carry him through that deficit. But that was a great, for Symbol and SuperNova. Like that counterattack was cool. That defense was even better. Again, we kind of come up with Crank, who we don't really want to be like, oh, the power of Protoss, but the Colossus advantage has been like one of the big things to worry about for both players sticking on those lower tier units. Now that we get Mutalisks coming out in bigger tech, it's looking a little bit better for SuperNova and Symbol. He's gonna lose his base.
The Axiom team has a great composition going here, but again, the Marines were out of position. Like, they weren't helping. The same thing happened with, like, the drops that killed Crank's base. They didn't have Blink Stalkers to cover the medevacs, so they got away free. The Marines had to deal with the tanks. So the Marines drop onto what they think is a tankless area, and SuperNova's tanks are, like, just in position. That was really nice for SuperNova, and thus the Colossus couldn't do maximum damage, although they didn't all die. So that's something.
Well, still trying to expand. We do have this big push out of SuperNova. SuperNova was kind of the wet noodle of Game 1. He really did not help his team much. But Game 2, he's been the all-star. Hart, not
I guess a face.
Yeah.
Like a dejected face, like a ugh.
Oh, the Mutalisks fly over top the Marines! Oh, wait, sorry, never mind, sorry. It's teammates Mutalisks! Oh my god! Freaking, this is why I wanted team colors on, yo. that anti-hype. All right, we do have the Zealots charging directly on top of the tank, so there is no coverage for this, so he will lose the tanks. Crank is going to win the ground battle here, and I think with the Zealot Warband surrounding the Marines, that's going to force the pickup.
This time the Marines were in position to take care of the medevacs, but an overcharge helps out as well, and that wasn't great.
Oh man,
that was good. Simple is just out of money, yo. Like,
yeah,
he lost
that base
2
was
bases.
Devastating.
I mean, the one on the right only got mined again in the last minute. I looked over and there's like wasn't any like drones there, so really not looking too hot. His meta count should probably be up like way higher, enough to really get in the mineral lines or the production lines as well.
I'm still just feeling stupid about that Mutalisk moment. You're just so like that's.
I feel like it was inevitable. Like,
yeah, like
I'm surprised how well we've been doing so far, to be honest.
The 2 or 3 years of casting 1v1s, like really, there's the muscle memory response, right? But this is looking so good for Team Axiom, who, I mean, they're just in such a dominating position in this game. They got control over it. There's counterattacks going off, and this is actually really great, but there's nothing to stop the army. The Planetary Fortress falls like nothing at all.
Yeah, the composition, again, is just going to work out. A lot of it does have to do with Symbol. Like, imagine if Symbol had never lost any mutas, and he had a big bank this entire time. He'd been up to, like, 40 mutas. And some of that would have been at a crucial time to pick off Colossus, Zealots, like, remaining medevacs from Heart. And instead, they've always been at, like, this really weak, like, 12-ish count, like 9 right now. So, Symbol just really not helping out, you know, going for a unit that really needs to be a big ball. You know, unlike tanks, which tanks usually help out even if they're in a kind of a small number.
Man, I can't. These attempts at counterattacks. I mean, okay, kill a lot of probes. That's cool, but I just don't think there's enough damage potential here. I mean, Heart and Crank are not exactly starving just yet. Their income is faltering. That's true, but they've got such a big army behind it. It's almost not. It's negligible. Like Symbol's got half the army supply. SuperNova's still kind of holding his own as far as like actual supply goes, but I mean, it's all turtled up at home. He's not exactly using it to expand or defend a third. It's getting quite bad. Well, I guess we'll get a moment here. I want to give a big shout out to Game Economist, just up 7 months running, and Firestarter 0047, 4 months running. Thank you guys for your continued support. Well, scanning around, look for where's safe. The answer is kind of technically nowhere. Nowhere is safe.
They can do a decent job turtling up on these 4 bases that they have, but
it's gonna be hard. I mean, they're out of cash. You can only turtle for so long. The Milos counterattacks are kind of cool, but they're picking off probes at a base where there's no money anyways. Ooh, that transfer from Crank. Nope, never mind.
Again, Symbol just not able to help out at all. The burrowed banelings would have to be real heroes. I mean,
you might be able to drag. There's a lot of chase for the Mutalisks right now, and probably
there, like, how many burrowed banelings does it take to kill like stalkers?
Right. But what about this? No, not gonna happen.
It's not even worthwhile to kill like the probes at this. Well, I mean, it's still always going to be good.
Yeah.
But like, they don't have a bank, so it's, you know, you're right. It's always going to be good to kill these probes, but it's the army that they can't beat.
Well, this is not going so well. We do have high ground. Never mind. Pardon me. In the middle of the map, the slings get caught by some tank fire. Mulos are waiting for a way to get in here on top of the probes. So they'll get a couple of kills. I mean, I applaud Symbol. He's making the best of a terrible situation, but for SuperNova, he's only just taken a new base. He transfers all the SCVs over here. Crank and Heart are pretty much maxed out on upgrades. Heart's finishing his 3-3 here very soon. Crank's already been on level 3 weapon upgrades and 3 armor for quite some time.
Has Symbol made any more units?
I don't know, his production's been like non-existent, right? It's been banelings, banelings, and banelings.
He's getting a bank now. I think he's forgotten that he can make units. Kind of gave up on production. And he didn't lose the Spire. No, he just, I don't know.
Well, I mean, lots of little fights like this start to help him, but it's not. I don't think it's gonna be enough to really turn this around. It's just never a situation like, even if every single Zergling that SuperNova currently, or pardon me, Symbol currently has was a Baneling, I still don't think it'd be enough. Crank just walks through this army with the Archons, following through with the Marines, stimming up. This is gonna be it. This is everything for SuperNova. He just lost all of his tanks. It was his best chance to possibly stay in the game. Symbol completely out of position, running around like, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And the answer is pretty much nothing.
Basically, yeah.
Well, it's sad to see him go down like this, but it is double elimination, so they're not out of the tournament just yet. We'll see if Super Symbol can perhaps get their act together to fight against whoever it is in the losers bracket. Counterattack being dealt with by the Photon Overcharge. Ouch.
Well, the Mutas, I guess, are fighting at their last.
Oh!
Oh!
I guess there were some broad
Pretty
bailings
good.
there. Nice baits, but still like 100 Marines left behind it.
Yeah. So not gonna help.
Cranks on top of the production of SuperNova. If there was any money left, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't be able to spend it. GG is going to be called, and looks like Team Axiom Pro Streamers take Series 2-0. I believe that sets them to the finals, pardon me, of the, well, I guess the semifinals, pardon me. Again, it's weird with the double elimination.